Man, I'm having stupid computer day. What's happening, everybody? It's Local Music Monday. Things just don't want to work today, and I don't know. I can't never put my finger on a Grainger. I can never. I make it look like I know what the hell I'm doing, but I literally do not know what the hell I'm doing.
Cross your fingers and hope for the best.
That's it, man.
Here we go.
And we rely on this technology so much, but it's just really. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work for you.
Especially like in a live setting. It's like, okay, we're actually doing this in front of people.
Right. Oh, shit, I got to go. And then I start to turn to a spaz. And unfortunately, Justin can't hang out with us because we couldn't hear him through the headphones. And I'm having stupid computer problems, and this never happens before. And I don't know, but I miss you, Justin, and I know you're out there somewhere. So if you want to chime in through the Facebook chat or whatever. But thank you for joining in. It is Local Music Monday. It's me, Zia. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. I got to give a shout out to the sponsors. If not for the sponsors, this podcast isn't possible. So thank you to my boy Eddie Alsheimer over at EJA Moving Services. He's the most reliable dude you can count on. Seriously, EJAmoving.com. You can find him online, 315-335-0516. They'll move anything, anywhere, anytime, any place. They'll bring your kids to college. They'll bring your grandmother to the nursing home. They'll move you to Japan. Whatever you need to do, they can do all that shit for you. Give them a call today. Again, it's 315-335-0516. Shout out to Billy the Liquor Guy. He's got a book out there, an award-winning book, by the way, on the true crime series. You can check it out on Amazon or wherever you buy your books. And coming soon, BillyTheLiquorGuy.com. We're having a food drive, actually, this Thursday over at the American Legion in North Utica. Come on down and help us restock the shelves at the Utica Food Pantry because they need a lot of help. They don't get any kind of government assistance. And I think the only time they get anything is through like fundraisers and benefits and shit. So it's going on this Thursday. DJ East 1 is going to be spinning. It's from 6 to 9. You come in, you bring a couple cans of food. There's raffles, there's prizes, there's booze, there's food. Come on down and hang out with your friends from the D and the Utica Cricket Club. Also, shout out to Joey's at 307. It's 307 Mohawk Street. You want a good meal today, give them a call, 315-864-3527. Thank you to Utica Coffee for keeping us hydrated around here. Thank you to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. Saranac Brewery, Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only for a 15% discount. And I got to give a shout out to my boy Chilling with the Rick, who's out there doing it, killing it, still waving the flag for the local music scene. I love what you're doing out there, Rick. So thank you so much. My man, Matt Grainger, in the house with me. Dude, I'm trying to think of the last time we saw each other.
It had to be EC, like
ECU.
back then those days. Yeah,
it's like a decade.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
We were pretty drunk back then.
I used to drink a little bit. Yeah. I actually do a little bit. I mean, that's actually a true statement these days. But back then we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't remember any of it.
Exactly. It's probably better that way. I'm glad there weren't so many cell phones around. They were around, but not nearly the way they are today.
Yeah, right.
You know, people are hitting like just live broadcasting their day from the time they get up in the morning. Here, I'm just going to put this out.
Yeah.
Anything in between. Like, holy shit, this is incredible.
You know, I was having a conversation with my buddy yesterday on how horrible it is to be a kid these days because you can't get away with anything.
Nope.
He was talking, because he's a teacher, right? He was talking about kids that were vaping in the bathroom and getting suspended for, and they could see him on camera. It's like, how stupid you got to be if you're still vaping in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but God forbid they get out of school and do something stupid. Their buddies are filming it on their camera phone. So it's like you can't get away with anything. When we were kids, we did so much stupid shit.
Yes.
I'd have been locked up in juvie if they were filming that.
And there's a real record of stuff. Like, I know some of the things I did, with the stories we tell these days of the old days. You can embellish quite a bit more because nobody has any proof.
Exactly.
We definitely we can make the stories a little bit richer in color and stuff like that. As far as the way we remember them, might not be exactly the same now. It's like, didn't happen that way. Look, you got it right here. Yeah, that is crazy. Like my younger son, he'll never know. He never knew a world without like a cell phone or a tablet or something to that effect. It's insanity. You know, stuff helps out a lot, but I liked being a little more clandestine, cloak and dagger type stuff when we were kids. Get away with a lot more.
Oh, yeah. We used to throw rocks at each other. Yeah, I mean, just stupid
That's
shit.
also, there was nothing else to do, chucking. I mean, remember the kids down at the train bridge in Herkimer throwing rocks at like brand new cars that come by on the train. I'm like, this is so horrible. Somebody ordered that car that's going to have a broken window on it. It's like, oh my God, this is insane. But yeah, we had a lot of fun though.
Is that where you grew up, Herkimer?
I grew up I was born and raised in Ilion, lived in Ilion forever, and I spent a lot of time in Herkimer and Frankfurt. As a matter of fact, I went to school at Annunciation Catholic school till ninth grade, and like
You're a product of a Catholic school?
yes, I am.
Me too, bro.
Choir boy and the whole nine. That's where I got.
That's where you learned how to sing?
Yeah. And we were hams about it too. And like I remember the stories. Like my brother and I we'd like change lyrics and have our little group, and it was the whole school is singing, and you know we'd making some filthy lyrics and having a bunch of kids laughing. They're like, "Oh, you guys think it's funny? Get up in front of the whole school and sing." My little brother and I are like, "You huh? Really?
We can?"
Awesome. The choir director's like, "You guys, I can't even, like this is usually punishment, but you guys are like hams. You just want to get up here and do this and stuff in front of people." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's the idea." But no, I was went to Catholic school until ninth grade, but until eighth grade. I was there 9 years, kindergarten through 8. And so long about 5th or 6th grade, St. Mary's School in Frankfort closed. So we had all these kids from Frankfort come over to Annunciation. So I have quite a few friends from Frankfort that are my age also that I spent like my summers with. I mean, I went to school. These were the kids I actually went to school with. I knew kids from Frankfort way better than I did some of the kids from Millian because these were the kids I interacted with every single day. So I still have quite a few lifelong friends from Frankfort also, but I was born and raised in Ilion.
What is it about the valley that produces so much musical talent?
I have no idea. I really don't. I want to say it's the water because the water's kind of shitty.
Yeah, right. Ilion's water's shit right now.
Yeah.
It's like brown right now.
Yeah.
We won't get into that, but there's something in the water that produces so much talent in the valley. I'm talking Herkimer, Frankfort, Ilion, Mohawk.
That was such a rich environment to grow up in as a kid because you didn't even realize it. There's so many people had these little band rooms and things like that, like somebody's garage, somebody's cellar, things like that. And you just go there and hang out, you know, smoking joints and drinking beers and doing all that kind of shit when they're like, well, but there was a lot of that going on. And even into when we were like, started getting our own apartments and everything and being actually old enough to do this stuff, there was an apartment somewhere here in Utica that a bunch of guys from the valley had. It was like 4th floor. It was ridiculous bringing equipment up there. But everybody in the house, there was a restaurant downstairs and everybody in the place was in on it. Like, so they just had these parties. Like it was like 50 people in an apartment and a band playing live on the 4th floor of this apartment, you know. And it was all these kids from the valley too. It was like, wow, this is a whole different scenario with having your own apartments and well, we're supposed to be adults. Well, that's the funny thing is, but most of my musician friends haven't grown up at all. We're just older. That's all.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Mm-hmm. When did you start cutting your teeth in the music scene?
Playing wise, we started messing around like in the 80s, mid 80s. We were playing like I grew up in the hair metal, and that's what was going on when I grew up. But I was I would be more influenced with stuff like Creedence Clearwater Revival, things like that when I was younger. That's what I was listening to. But I started playing. A friend of mine got a guitar, and everybody wanted to be a guitar player. So I wanted to play in bass because there's 10 guitar players. My buddy had a bass. He's like, "You want to play bass?" I'm like, "Guess I'm the bass player." So I started out playing bass. And when I moved down to Florida in 96, January 96, I moved down to Florida. And I had been messing around with guitar. I used to play in the choir at church. This was interesting because I was like 19, 20 at the time. And I get free lessons on Thursdays or Tuesdays when I went to rehearsal. And the lady's like, the only thing I want from you, and she goes, you don't have to pay for the lessons or anything like that. She just, can you play on Sundays, like 8:30 Mass and like 10:30 Mass? I'm like, sure. This is me getting up on a Sunday morning at 20 years old. I went to bed about 5:30 Sunday morning. You know, so I'm going in and doing this. So I'm like, he's such a blasphemous asshole. Showing up and playing guitar, but I learned how to play acoustic a little bit through her. And she gave me some things like lifelong things that I read. These are the things that stuck with me, like time. The timing is is perfect. It's math, and that's something that's always stuck with me. It always comes back around. No matter where you are, you can always find your way back to the beginning. As long as you know where you started, find the one.
Find the one.
And yes, find your way back to the one. But when I moved to Florida in '96, I went. The first night I was there, I ran into my brother Johnny. Had me meet this guy that plays at this place 6 nights a week as a house band, and he had an open mic night. I went to the open mic night and played a few songs. And he's like, "Man, you're pretty good. Do you play bass at all?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." I barely did. I was playing three note stuff like Poison and stuff like that.
The open E.
Yeah. So he gave me like 40 songs to learn. It was luckily it was stuff like Jimmy Buffett and things like that. It was pretty easy stuff to play. So I woodshed it a whole bunch, and I got that gig. And I went from never really playing live to playing 6 nights a week at a house bar for like 400 people on a Tuesday. It was the place to go on Sanibel Island at the time. And it was a lot of locals, but it was kind of nice because the crowd changed every single night. And you might have the busiest night of the week might be Saturday, not necessarily a Friday or Saturday, because it's a resort area. It's on an island. There's shitloads of people around all the time. Off season's a little slower, but that's when all the locals are there. So it's always a party. And then I moved back home, and I'm like, do you guys have got a gig a month from now? Like, I'm used to playing 6 nights a week, and it was kind of crazy. I'm kind of almost back to that now. I'm playing quite a bit. I did 1 million shows this summer, but I'm finally back. I mean, I'm built for this. I don't mind. The busier I am, the better I am. Everything works, vocally and like playing wise and all that stuff. Everything works more the more you do it. Take big breaks in between. Everything, things slip away. Your voice isn't as strong and things like that.
Yeah, it's a muscle. You got to keep that muscle intact.
Yeah, I made it through COVID without having any major. I did wind up getting it once, and if I didn't test positive, I would have never known I had it. Honestly, it really didn't bother me at all. I was kind of tired for about 5 days, and this was in 2021 or so, somewhere in there. Yeah, and but I had some friends that still like I have permanent vocal damage, just like from what they went through when they actually had it, and it was the hacking and the coughing and the beating it up, and I was like. Luckily, I got through that unscathed so far. We'll see. But we just went through another bout a few months ago. My wife wound up getting it, and my older son got it. But again, nobody was really that sick. No, we've been blessed to not have any bad experiences with it so far. But
yeah, it affected everybody different. Yeah. And here we are, 3 years later, we're still freaking talking about it. It's still mentioned every freaking day. Mm-hmm. We'll never be able to shake it in our lifetime. I don't think we will. No. We're always going to be talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe.
Are you playing in a band right now, or are you just doing a solo thing?
I'm in a duo with my drummer that I've been with for 20 years, Kevin Orr.
K.O.
And we are. We're K.O. Grainger.
Send my love to him, man.
Yeah, he's a good.
I love K.O.
What I will say about him, and I've said this to his face, with bands, it's so. The number one thing for me is to be able to get along with the guys in the band. So I've been in bands that where there was tension and there's heads butting and. The music was okay, but everything besides the music was like, I don't even want to be in the same room with this person. And this is something I used to be a lot more, let me say, I don't want to use the word liberal, but I used to be a lot more like artsy, fartsy, feel good stuff. Like I wanted everything to be, everything had to be an experience. Now it's work to me. I mean, now it's a job because it's something, I lost that a long time ago because it's like, okay, I got to do this every single day. And now we're doing this 7 days in a row, take a day off, do 6 more. Before that, it was always like the experience. Everything had to be, we had to gel, and everything had to be this. And doing that with people you don't get along with is very, very hard. It takes away from it. Being on stage with people playing live when you just want to walk over there and punch you in the face, it's not good. Kevin, going back to Kevin, he is the one person I've ever really shared the time on stage with that we've really never butted heads ever. Everything's just good. Like when we come to a gig, everybody, we have our jobs, we do our jobs, we stay out of each other's way, and then time to play, we play, we get done playing, and everything's just perfect. It's perfect. And we've had a few other guys in and out of the band that had this similar experience with where things were good. Well, they were good, they were great, and then people their lives get in the way. People go do other things,
of course,
and have kids and things like that.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem with being in a band. You got to take on everybody's daily lives and their drama or whatever they bring to the table, their work schedule, their relationships. So you're in a relationship with 5 other dudes plus their relationships as well. So it's hard to maintain, trudge through all that.
Yeah. And my wife, she's been with me, we'll be celebrating 30 years married this December 19th coming up.
Nice, happy anniversary.
So she's been with me through the entire thing from start to finish. Like I never had the going out to like, I'm not going to try to hook up tonight or anything. I've never had that. I mean, she was either there at the bar or I have come home and unloaded so much crap on her at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning just to hear the stories. And like, I'm going to go home and smell like 20 different kinds of perfume. You should have seen all the different people out tonight. I just leave it at different people. But we've had quite a bit of an experience over the years with as far as her. But she's been through the I don't bring any drama to anything. I've had friends that had kids and things like that. Things come up in life and go, I can't do this. Why you're busting my balls? I can't be in a band anymore. This and I'm like, my kids are always going to know me as a musician. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, this is what I do. It's just what I spent my time on. I mean, I know how to do a gazillion things, but this is the thing I spent all my time on to try to make this as a living. And back about, I think it's 7 years ago, I had a day job at Fiberdyne in Frankfurt. I worked there 13 years as a fiber optic technician. And we just couldn't find daycare for my son. I have an autistic son that's 15 right now. And my wife's like, you're like this close to like not really having to have a day job, but it's a grind, and it really is. And I've been doing it but it also has made it way easier. Like when COVID hit, we talked about COVID, we just switched gears a little bit. Like, okay, the kids are home for a week, they're home for 2 weeks, they're home for a month. Okay, they're going to be home for the summer. They're home for the entire year. Okay, so now we get the kids home for a year, but I was just home with them. That is one thing I will say about COVID. I'll never get that time back. I had my kids with me. We did all kinds of stuff. Like we took my Hummer out and drove it out in the middle of nowhere up and, driving over mountains and crap. That's where we were during COVID. Hiding out in the woods, driving around, like trying to stay out of town. But let's go find something to do. We live in New York State, upstate New York. There's a gazillion places to go where there's nobody.
Right, totally.
And that was fun. So this is what I do as my 100% my full-time job, and I'm around for my kids when I have to be during the day for vacations and things like that, and it's worked out. It's a grind, but there's so many places to play right now. You can play 7 days a week. If I'm not busy, it's my fault. I mean, it really is a million places. I'm playing tonight. I'm playing at the beer garden over on Burstone. It's they're doing like 25-cent wing night, which I have no idea how they're doing 25-cent wing night. That's insane. But so these are like 1988 prices.
No way. 20. Yeah, those were like 2000 prices. Because remember back in the day, it was like 10-cent wings back in the day. Yeah. That was the go-to at Cavallo's. Like you go and have 10-cent wings.
Oh, I was there Friday. I just had 10 wings at Cavallo's Friday. I'm like,
yeah. So now it's like $1 a wing.
That's okay. That's all right. I'll pay it.
It's $1 a wing.
Yeah, certain places I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 25-cent wing night. But they have a decent crowd in there. I've done it a couple times, and this will be tonight at 5. I'm doing that.
There's a good little circuit going on though right now if you're playing solo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, I think for the bands, it's a little more tougher.
It really is.
Because there's no indoor stages locally other than like Lukens and maybe 12 North, but that's really it. Yeah, I mean, there's no indoor stages. And you can move the pool table off to the side and go play wherever, but it's not any fun. You want to play on a freaking stage and have like a production.
Yes.
When you go and not just, but the acoustic guys are playing all over. There's some great little brew pubs going on, and
wineries and things like that.
Yeah, up on 233, there's some cool things going. Yep. So it's good.
They do the 233 circuit.
Yeah,
get that going on.
Remember back in the day, it was a Route 5 circuit. Now it's switched to the 233 circuit.
Yeah, even at Herkimer, there's like nothing. Like watch a tumbleweed roll down Main Street.
It's sad, man.
We used to park our car somewhere in Herkimer, like on a back street 3 blocks over, so we could walk back to it, not walking into the car and behind the bar and drive out of a bar so that the cops couldn't see us. But
Herkimer was the shit back then.
You could just park your car somewhere.
It was so much fun back then, and they had a lot of great bands playing up and down the street, and there was some cool clubs. And now it's like The Walking Dead. Yeah,
I mean, it really isn't really a venue. There's nothing normal. Like they're not a regular venue. It's, they might eventually have an event at the Legion or something like that. They might do something there, but I don't think I play in Herkimer at all. I mean, really, at all. There's actually I do have one show at Stoney's coming up, but that's not an all the time thing either. They do entertainment once in a while, and I got something coming up around Christmas for them. But that's the other thing. Like me living in Mohawk, it's there's not a million places to play like really locally. I'm either Utica or an hour in any direction.
Yeah.
I do a ton of traveling, but it pays off in the long run. I don't mind either. Like, gets me out of the house. I was up north on Saturday night. It was wonderful. I love going up either Dakers and Old Forge. Got a few shows there.
It's a lot of fun up there.
Oh, it's always
Old Forge is a blast.
Yeah, and I got some stuff in the summer there, but I'm an hour in any direction most of the time.
You do like the snowmobile bars and stuff like that in the wintertime?
I don't mind. I love all that crap too. I don't snowmobile anymore because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I buy a $10,000 snowmobile and ride it 3 times a year. And like, there's a lot of other things I could use that $10K on. But
it's tough. Living in upstate New York, it's tough to get those types of vehicles, like getting a snowmobile or a jet ski or something. Like, in the summertime, if you get a jet ski, it's probably going to rain most of the time, so you're not going to be able to take it out. And then once you buy a snowmobile, it probably won't even snow.
Yeah,
it's crazy. The weather pattern's been so weird, and we haven't even gotten snow or a freeze over in a while. Like right now, we should be covered in snow.
Yeah, when we got the stimulus thing, as I told my wife, I'm like, we got to buy. I don't want to waste this cash on anything stupid. Like, let's get something we can actually use. And I got like a $3,000 snowblower. It's incredible. It's hand warmers. It blows a loaf of bread thing the size of snow about 40 feet in the air. Like, this thing's incredible. But I live right on 168, and the state plow likes to plow us in really good, which they do a fantastic job keeping the road clean. But they do the heavy, slushy snow, 3 foot deep. If there's 8 inches on the ground, I got 2 feet at the end of the driveway. But that snowblower doesn't make. I've used it probably 6 times in 2 years.
You get dumped on up there though, when it does hit.
I live basically on the backside of Shoemaker Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are up in elevation as far as like we get snow in Mohawk, downtown Mohawk. We're only 5 miles up, but I'll have snow up there. They'll have nothing downtown. When it snowed a couple of weeks ago, I had snow on the ground, snow on my cars, and nothing downtown when it came down.
Is Shoemaker active?
Not anymore. They did open it up for a little while. A gentleman and his wife bought it, and they had it open. I actually played there a few times. This has to be a decade ago, anyways, at least. But I was so happy. I was like, wow, there's a venue really close to my house because it's only like 5 miles away from my house. And that was kind of neat. They got it going again, and then it's the same kind of crap. People coming in, fights happening, and then they decided to shut it down. So I don't think they're doing anything with the facility right now, or anything with the hill's all there and everything. It's still all there. But
remember back in the day, they were doing like festivals or something.
Yeah,
like
I watched Quiet Riot there.
Quiet Riot, really?
They had a concert on the back porch. It was kind of neat because they made it like they basically made the venue like an amphitheater type situation. Everybody sat on the back hill, and the bands were up on the deck. And there was I think Jimmy Crosby's band at the time, Toast. They played. They were one of the opening acts, and this other band, I believe it was like Twisted Roots was the name of them. But I was laughing because Quiet Riot comes out, and like Kevin Dubrow got like a full head of hair. I'm like, the last time I saw him, he's like losing it all here, and he comes out, he's got this massive. Like, what the hell is that? And they blew up the sound system. It took like 45 minutes to figure out what. I mean, as soon as they came out, they did like half a song, and it was loud as balls. And then everything just shut off. Like everything, they blew the power, and they needed more power. I'm like, it was fine. The other two bands were fine. It didn't have to be like that much louder, but. Whatever they did, smoked the system, and kind of neat though. We're watching Quiet Riot on a hill in Little Falls.
After all those years, they would learn by now.
Yeah, it was kind of neat though. Seeing like a band like you saw in the '80s and stuff like that live on a hill in Little Falls.
When was this?
This was like '94, '3, somewhere in there. So just before I moved down to Florida. I moved down in '96.
It was Quiet Riot's decline.
Yes, it was like the very, very end of when he died shortly thereafter, and he was into like major drugs and crap like that.
Kevin Dubrow?
Yeah. I've seen his story a bunch of times.
Half that band's dead now.
I think so, yeah.
Except for Rudy Sarzo.
Yeah, what's his name? Frankie Benali just recently died.
He died,
in the last year or two or something like that. But a lot of those guys are dropping off. That's terrible. I mean, I keep seeing people my age dropping off nowadays. I'm like, okay, I'm recently been getting in better shape and drinking less and eating better and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, this stuff works.
Well, what about these guys we grew up worshiping and how rough they look nowadays?
Yeah.
Like looking at like Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Or Vince Neil. Actually, Tommy Lee doesn't look so bad. And actually, Nikki Sixx looks pretty good for his age right now. But Vince Neil, I feel so bad for that.
It's just bad. You know what I never realized, though? And I was just watching, this is just yesterday, I was watching a video of Sebastian Bach singing I Remember You live. And he couldn't sing it then. I'm like, son of a bitch. It was all just studio shit. Some of these guys, I mean, some of them could really do it.
Yeah.
They really could. But a lot of the guys that vocally, anyways, a lot of these vocalists, they just never did it live. Then I'm huge about that. I'm like, you miss one note, I'm pissed. Like, okay, they're human beings. They're singing songs that are insane. But like you see, like David Coverdale, like I saw a video from 2015 or 16, and he was still all over it. Mm-hmm. Like everybody still of the night hitting that massive note at the end, holding it. I mean, it's all him, 100%. Like he's like 70.
Somebody like Sammy Hagar's like tuning down.
Yeah.
So he could still hit it. And Sammy's still killing it.
Yes.
When he could play whenever the hell he wants because he's a billionaire or whatever, but he just goes and plays for fun. And he tunes down. And they were saying like, well, I hear Kiss use a lot of backing tracks.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah.
I'm just a sucker for live stuff.
Me too.
I love hearing people live. Even if they're not perfect, I'd still rather see you doing it live.
Right. I'm not paying for Milli Vanilli.
No, not 100% lip sync and everything. What the Vince Neil thing is doing.
Oh, he's bad, man. I saw him at the State Fair a couple years ago. Like, he couldn't breathe. It's like, first
I
of all.
almost went to that, and I'm glad I didn't. It was like, I think it was a free show or something, like Chevy Court or something like that.
Yeah.
And people were showing videos afterwards. I'm like, well, good. I'm glad we didn't go. We were like almost in the car. I'm like, I'm not going to drive all the way up there and deal with traffic and all that bullshit and da-da-da-da. And So we didn't, and luckily we didn't. Like, the show was horrible. The band was cool, but the show was terrible.
Well, he's got Slaughter backing him up. Not Mark Slaughter, but Slaughter, his like Dana Strum and not Blythe, but they had that Zoltan guy playing drums for him. You ever see that
animated,
lunatic?
Oh, he's crazy.
Oh my God, he stands up on like the cymbals and he's just beating on shit. And
I just remembered
that dude is a freaking lunatic.
We were at the state fair that day and we didn't stay for it. It was gonna be at like 8. We were there. It was like 5 o'clock. I'm like, I'm sitting around for another 3 hours waiting for this to happen because I remember seeing that guy's kit, and I sent it to my drummer Kevin. I was like, what he was explaining to me who it was. I'm like, oh, it's that dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's basically like a flying chimpanzee back there.
He does everything but backflips back there.
Yeah.
Like he jumps
animated.
off his throne. He's beating the shit out of that. Like the thing, he's jumping off his snare and he still stays in time. And I'm beating. He's throwing his sticks all over the place. And he's got one foot up.
Something
he's
to watch.
playing
for sure.
underneath his legs. Yeah, he's a showman. But I can imagine being in a band with him is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to probably suck being in a band with the guy. But if you get a chance to check him out live, he's something to see. You know, or go Google him or check him out on YouTube. He's playing with a bunch of different bands, not just Vince.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's
like a Kenny Aronoff guy. He plays with everybody.
Zoltan.
So it's really the fortune reader guy.
Yes,
exactly. It's a Zoltar or something like that.
Used to see in the arcade, right?
Yes.
Zoltan.
I think they still have one at They have one in Old Forge. I know for sure in the arcade. The pizza place, but I think there's one in Sylvan Beach too. But that one used to creep me out. The one in Sylvan Beach. I grew up there. We had a camp about a mile away from Sylvan Beach. And went down to that arcade. That was back when we were 3 miles. We were 13 and 31 cross right there. It's called Kaiser Beach right there where Marion Manor is.
Yeah.
And back in the day, my parents would send the 3 of us down like $20 and 3 bikes, and we'll see you when you get back. Like we're riding our bikes down over the bridge and into Sylvan Beach. I don't let my kid go around the corner without being able to see him now. Like I make sure I can see you because people are just you can't trust that damn thing.
You can't trust anybody nowadays.
You just absolutely can't. That's one thing I put in my kids' head. I'm like, grow eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah,
like,
for
just
sure.
Seriously, situational awareness. If there's one skill I could teach you for the rest of your life, situational awareness. Look around when you're someplace you're not used to. Look around.
Pay attention to your
look
surroundings.
At everything.
Yep.
And don't be paranoid. Just be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm in a lot of weird places a lot of times, like weird hours of night. You got cash on you, stuff like that. You grow eyes on the back of your head.
Yep.
So you have to.
Pay attention, kid. Pay attention. Back to the rock stars, though, I was thinking, like, we're talking about the ones that we grew up with, but then you got guys like Paul McCartney, who's like 80 years old, and the Rolling Stones are they're in great shape. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, he's working out every day. Like, these guys are in ridiculous shape. They're timeless, ageless, and they're still out there rocking it every day. But then you guys got the hard partiers like the hair bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not that the Stones and all them, they partied hard. And Keith Richards probably going to be the last one on earth.
But even Mick Jagger works out every single day. He's got a gym he travels with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a whole trailer that's just
amazing.
You have to.
Amazing.
He moves better than I've ever moved at his age. I could never move that good. My God, I can't even think about that shit.
Right. 80 years old, they're still killing it. We were with Willie Nelson this year. It was at summer camp. He's 90 years old.
Yeah.
90 years. We had to take like COVID precautions and stuff like that for him. I mean, he's 90 years old, so you got to be careful if Willie's around. But man, he's still doing it. He still sounds great. Walking around doing his thing. And
why the hell not?
Yeah.
As long as you can, do it. I plan on doing this as long as my hands work. When they don't work, hopefully my voice still works and I can still do something.
Do you drop, brother?
Yeah, that's the only way to go.
Yeah.
Keeps you young. And again, like there's people like Keith Richards talk about the guitar. Like nobody will ever master the guitar. It's something you can do the rest of your life. It's like playing golf. You're never gonna get perfect at it. Just keep doing it if you enjoy doing it, and hopefully you get a little better. Like now I'm at least in a comfortable spot where I can play as many. I remember the days like playing bass. I played one show and I got blisters on my hands, and like I can't even pick a bass up for like 3 weeks. Like I play hours and hours and hours, and sometimes I'm playing 40 hours of music a week, like live.
Great.
It's great. It's like a full-time job. Like, holy crap, my hands still do it, the voice still doesn't. So that's good. There's certain precautions you take, but no smoking or anything during or before a show. Sometimes after, it's a reward. And I don't drink anymore when I play just because of the driving home thing. I had a couple of close calls along the way. I'm like, okay, we're done with that. just the odds, the numbers are going to line up one of these days. Like I do this so often, so now it's always a later on at night reward thing, you know. But you got to kind of stay in shape. The older I get, the more I got to kind of find a way to keep doing this. You know, and I did it a certain way for a long time, and then that gets to be every day is a challenge. I'm like, this is crazy. It can't be that hard.
Do you do vocal exercises?
Not really.
No?
I have a certain way, like when I play like live, the first, especially like my solo shows, with Kevin, it's a little different. The set list is slightly different, but not too different. I have like a handful of songs that I normally sing. Like for the first half hour, 45 minutes of me playing, you won't hear my voice until I'm there. And I mean what I mean by that is I'm just singing stuff that's not too hard. And I've been doing it so long, I kind of do this same kind of group of songs, not the same exact songs, but around the same range. And then once I feel like I'm pretty warmed up and everything, then I'll start going crazy because I can get up there pretty good with my vocals and stuff. Mm-hmm. But with Kevin, that's the other reason why we've stayed as a duo. He will play anything. And like even like I love pulling stuff out of thin air, like pull right out of my ass, going, we're going to try this. So I'll just start playing some chords and like put a beat to this. He doesn't even know what the hell I'm singing until I start singing it, you know. And but it works out really well. He's very good at playing a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And it's phenomenal. I've never worked with anybody like that before, where we don't have to put a ton of effort into it. Now, obviously, they're not perfect. We play the meat and potatoes of the songs, and I sing the vocals over them. It's basically my acoustic show with drums and Kevin singing backups and harmonies and things like that. And then he sings a couple of songs, and I sing the harmonies on those too. But as a duo like that, our biggest compliment is like, man, you guys make a lot of noise for two guys. It sounds like a whole band. I'm like, good, that's great. Because that was the idea. I mean, a couple of little tricks with the board and beef some stuff off, a little more low end on my guitar. And I use a couple of Carvin AE 185s, they have a piezo pickup in them and an electric pickup, and I can blend them half and half.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing live, it sounds like an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar playing at the same time.
That's amazing.
So it beefs up the sound quite a bit, and Kevin just does a fantastic job of filling in all the stuff in between. So we actually we got a show this weekend. We're at Rock Valley Brewing down in Little Falls. That'll be a fun show down there. But
Little Falls got a couple joints now too, huh? There's a few places to play there.
Yeah, Little Falls is where else do I play at Little Falls? They did have the Renaissance was open again for a little bit, been doing music there, but they've kind of gotten away from that. There's another new owner to it, but that was fun for a little bit. I'm like, man, I haven't been in here in a gazillion years. This is awesome. But it's kind of neat going into some of these places like that haven't been open forever, and you're like, what's the same thing? This is awesome. It hasn't really changed. I mean, it was one of those bars in one of those strip mall, like little strip areas on a main street, like long skinny bar like Deneen's and Herkimer, gazillion places around here. Like Deneen's, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. You just give me a flashback.
We're going there on like St. Patrick's Day at like 3:30 in the afternoon to get a booth, and like we will own this until they close. This is our spot. Don't move. And not everybody get up to go to the bathroom at the same time. We're gonna
take claim.
And just the whole place just fill in. I mean, you couldn't even move. Drinking green beer the whole night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the days, especially when it landed on like a Tuesday. Let's stay here right till 2:00. It's like we're gonna put a 10-hour shift in tonight.
Grainger, we got some people checking in on Facebook, and thank you everybody that's watching over there on Facebook. If you could do us a favor and click the share button and help us out here on Local Music Monday and Disruption Network, and also Grainger help spread the word of him. Big shout out to Kevin Pratt. He's saying what's up to everybody. Hi, Kevin. Good to hear from you. Thank you. Broken Rule.
Yes, indeed.
Those guys rock.
Oh, yeah.
I still have to check them out. I apologize. I need to go check them out, but I have had them on the podcast before, and we've had some fun, man. They're funny guys. Oh, yeah. My mom's checking in. She's like, thank God you said your grandparents and not your mother for a nursing home. I'm not putting you in a nursing home, Ma, so don't worry about it. Never. Hi to Joetown. Hi, Joetown. Hope all is well. Got to give a shout out to my boy, Cy. Lighting extraordinaire, my boy, Cy. He's saying Decibel Felon. That's the name of our crew band, Decibel Felon.
Right on.
Yeah. Actually, the crew band has a different name for every gig. So we haven't played under Decibel Felon yet. So once we will. And then after we're done with Decibel Felon, then
it's hard
move
enough
on
coming
to
up with a name, let alone a multiple. I mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, the first band was Finger Bang.
Okay, yeah.
That we played at the Saranac Brewery. We played in between most sets, which was fun. We wore inflatable costumes. And,
I believe I saw some pictures from that. I didn't make the show, but yeah, that looked hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're stupid.
And now having fun though. That's that's
total
first and
fun,
foremost. I mean,
and this is what I love about the band, because we don't take it serious, and it's not like a business. It's not a thing that we're gonna be doing all the time. So it's like, we play shows here and there, some pop-ups, and just have fun with it. So Decibel Felon's gonna be a little bit different because we're all gonna wear prisoner uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then next is gonna be Just the Tip.
Okay,
And that's gonna be more of a funk band. And
That's my tip jar says that. It says just the tips.
Just the tips.
Yeah. I got a lot of mileage out of that. People are like, that's funny. I'll put a fiver in there.
So we've got this whole plan of this band that's gonna have multiple names. And they're gonna have multiple Instagram pages too. That's the plan, to have multiple Instagram pages.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just having fun with it, man. We want to do the exact opposite normal bands we do.
Okay, yeah. Why not? That works too.
Yeah, we got merch out already before the band even started, and like stickers, and so stupid. But anyways, shout out to my boys from Decibel Fella. I miss you guys. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks at the Cap. Shout out to my boy over at he's down in Destin, man. You ever in Destin, Florida, bro?
I've never been to Destin. I lived in Florida for 5 years and on the West Coast, and I never made it to Destin.
The Destin is the redneck Riviera.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, the interior of Florida is all like cattle country and country folk. And,
big
horses
time.
And cattle.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that kind of thing. It's like, it's not all the outer coast is all the resorts and all that bullshit. And then, they have the interior, like Orlando area. That's all resorty and everything else. But like north and south of that, in the interior of the state, there's all like farms and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Florida's an interesting place. All the weird shit happens in Florida. But I have a lot of great friends in Florida. Some really, really cool people. If you're ever in Destin, the Miramar Beach area, there's a place called 38 Taco. That literally, this joint is probably the best food I've had in a long time. They were one of our caterers for a festival that we were working in. They were doing oysters and tacos and burritos, and like unbelievable. They took great care of us, man. So if you're ever down there, oh man, the food's fantastic.
Ridiculous.
The food is fantastic. So
we used to have boats that went out at like 3:30 in the morning, and they're bringing you fish at like 7 or 8. It never got frozen. It's coming off the boat in a bucket full of ice, and you get it and serving it to people in the restaurant. Like, now that's fresh. Holy shit, that was in the Gulf of Mexico this morning.
Right. So, can't get any fresher.
No, sir.
No, if you're ever down there, check out 38 Taco. It's awesome. A shout out to our boy from As If, Scott. He's saying, what's up, Z Nation? Thank you, bro. Our boy Gino from Fertello's is saying, love me with some Matt Grainger, one talented
Gino,
musician.
what's happening?
Does he come up and sing with you?
Absolutely.
What song does he do with you?
We do a little Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Let's see. He's gotten up and done. I think he did I'll Be There For You, too, with Bon Jovi. Wagon Wheel and a few others. I can't think of what off the top of my head. He could definitely remember a little more from what because he's usually requesting what to do. He always makes me sing to Bon Jovi though. I'm like, you're killing me with this. It's like a Wednesday night, and I haven't had a gig since Saturday. I'm like, I gotta get warmed up, but we'll do we'll be doing the Better Roses later in the night.
Well, it's an Italian thing for him, Bon Jovi. He's an Italian god.
No, Gino's a massive fan of all things 80s, like all that. He's always playing some killer music, and he wants me to do those. Like, I'm a huge fan of that too, like the giant vocal songs and things like that.
The shit we grew up on, man. The power ballads.
That's funny you should say that, because my drummer Kevin's like, we should just name the band APB, All Power Ballads, because that's all you ever fucking want to do. That's it. All you want to do. I'm like, he goes, we can't do them all night. I'm like, we're going to do a few, though. We're going to do a few. John
Foley saying you're an amazing musician. Thank you, John.
Oh, right on.
Thank you. If you guys are watching on Facebook, please do us a favor, click the share button. Pat Orlowski's checking in. What up, Pat? Saying Matt's an excellent talent. Have you ever played with Pat?
I've never played with Pat. I've seen him play a million times way back in the day, but I've never played with him myself. No.
You've had KO with you.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I haven't really played with a million people. This goes back to if once I get something I like, I'll stay with it. Like, as far as musicians and things like those, we get something that works and stay with it. We tried a few different things and they didn't work, so we'll go back to what did work and exploit that for a few more years.
Gino's saying "Wanted Dead or Alive."
Ah, yes, there we go.
He's a cowboy.
Yeah,
on the steel horse, right?
Oh, and Blaze of Glory too. All those huge Bon Jovi tunes. You're gonna blow my throat out, man, but I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
I'd like to see him and Richie Sambora get back together, though.
They're talking. Yeah, I see they're talking, so that would be kind of neat, yeah.
Richie was drunk for the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
He's been through some
These
shit.
things happen.
Yeah. He was dating Orianthi for a while, too.
Yes.
Is he still with her?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Last I knew, I didn't think they were, but I'm not sure. And she can do. She's definitely got some chops too.
She can wail. That girl shreds. She's a shredder.
There's some incredible women right now out in that scene right there. They're doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
Who's the one with Alice Cooper?
Nita Strauss.
Nita Strauss. Oh my God, she's another one. She's like the female Zach Wilde.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's phenomenal.
Or maybe female Slash.
Okay,
one of the two.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
She's she attacks. Like when she plays, she's just sweeping. Like, wow. When you see Alice Cooper and they give her time to shine, and she's out there. There's some shit. There's drama. This is what happens when you're in the middle of the ghetto and you film a podcast. You have to deal with sirens.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes gunshots too. But that's.
I was going to say that was
usually at night.
It was a couple days. There's been a couple this week.
Anyways, Alice Cooper gives her time to shine, and she steps up.
Yep.
Night in and night out. She's amazing, but I don't think she's with Alice Cooper right now. I think she's going off on a solo.
Yeah, she was working with someone else too. I can't remember who the hell she went to go. She was doing something with too. But you ever see that girl Courtney Cox? She plays with the Iron Maidens, and she's in a couple other things.
Oh yeah, she in the Led Zeppelins too.
I'm not sure if she's in that or not, but they're good too. But like the Iron Maiden's a phenomenal band. I love watching them because I mean they're attractive women, but they're laying it down. I mean even Iron Maiden themselves are like, yeah, that's good.
It's all female Iron Maiden cover band, right? You got to check that out. Love to see that.
It makes sense. I mean that a woman with a power voice could get those notes like Bruce Dickinson. I mean, and she does a great job of it too. But Courtney Cox is phenomenal as a guitar player.
Her name's Courtney Cox.
Yeah, her name's Courtney Cox too. Yeah, there's not the actress from Friends, but different one. She's phenomenal. Her and Nita Strauss are tight too. They've done some stuff together.
Are you familiar with the up and coming female all rock band called Plush?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know a whole lot about their material.
Man, killer. So that is Maya Farmiga. She was on The Voice at one point.
Okay,
and she's fairly local actually. So I want to say she's from like Amsterdam area or Schenectady, Gloversville, maybe that area. She's from around that region. She was on The Voice at one point, and they formed this all-female rock band, and they're out there doing big things. They're opening for Slash. They're out there opening for Hailstorm. So they're out on all the big major rock festivals and whatnot. But they're out there doing it big. To me, they kind of sound a little Hailstormish, but with more balls.
Really?
They got balls, man. These girls can play. They're fantastic, man. They're a fantastic band. Check them out, Plush.
Definitely.
Yeah, Slash has endorsed them a few times. I know they've Alter Bridge was another band that they're opening for, and
I love that band. That's some cool stuff. It's a cool combination of different. It literally is like a recipe with specific seasonings. Like it's a little this, a little that, a little this, and it's that. You know, that kind of thing.
I think Miles Kennedy's one of the best frontmans on earth.
Yep.
Have you seen him live? Yeah, he's incredible live.
It's funny to hear him sing like stuff like Fall to Pieces from like Velvet Revolver. It's like a cleaner version of it. Like he's got such a sweet. I mean, his vocals are just phenomenal, just insanely good. But I mean, I like the stuff that they did too. So I mean, I liked Creed when they were around. That was popular when we were doing bands and stuff like that, and everybody was playing those songs. We did like 7 Creed songs. Everybody was doing them at that time.
Yeah.
And I love the band. Just the music was good too. I mean, regardless of the lyrics and Scott Stapp being a lunatic at the time, when I could turn it into a crazy man. But then when Alter Bridge came out, it's kind of the same. It was the same kind of music. Same thing like Velvet Revolver sounded a lot like Guns N' Roses with Scott Weiland singing. I'm like, this is cool. This is kind of neat because they're all like tuned down a half a step. You can definitely tell it's like those bands that play everything a half step down. It's got that different. It's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
You know, then the solos, like Slash's solos with a half step down like that. You know what they sound like. And like Alice in Chains, kind of the same thing. It's got that little bit of a darker edge because it's not as bright. It's a half step down. It's neat. It's a lot of bands like that. But They were all like that. Velvet Revolver's like that.
I think Mark Tremonti is one of the most underrated guitar players.
Yeah, for what he does, that stuff is cool as shit. It's riffy in weird spots. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it. I was a huge fan of his, and still am. I mean, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's an amazing arranger. He writes some really good stuff.
Yeah, I saw them live. Where did I see them? This was when they were like popular, like I would say late '90s or something like that. And I saw them down at SPAC, and they had Days of the New opened up for them, which was kind of neat. But Scott Stapp's voice was absolutely destroyed that night we heard. I mean, he did a couple of songs were decent. The rest of them were all like, I need your help tonight. And he's sticking the mic out to the crowd. I'm like, you suck. It was terrible.
He couldn't yardle.
No, but the band was phenomenal. Those are great. He had the tongue. We used to call it the tongue curling.
Or sing through your top lip. The yardle.
Little Eddie Vedder action. Yeah,
that's all Eddie Vedder, right? Mm-hmm. I got to give a shout out to my boy Dan Nolan out in Vegas. What up, buddy? Hope all is well out there. And they're saying Chillin' Smith is missing out right now. He'll catch this. He can always catch it whenever he wants. But make sure you check out. Have you been on his show?
Yep.
You have?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rick's doing a good thing, man.
Yep.
Hung out in the backyard. Last time I was on, he didn't have the mics unmuted. So we recorded and there was no sound.
I think we had something similar. He didn't have the the last time I did it. The mic from his phone was the only thing picking it up. But I speak loud enough to because it was from about as far away as the back of your chair from us. But
he needs a producer.
Yeah, at least one employee to make sure everything's running up and running and going the way it's supposed to be. And
no, he's doing good shit, man. And we need more people out there because, right now we're all in this together. Yeah. This is one big music scene that we're in it together, and it's not competitive like it used to be. And like
it's weird, uncharted waters. It's weird.
It's awesome, actually. Yeah. It is. It's cool. You can go out, and lately when I go out, go check out some of my friends in the crowd. You'll see all these other local musicians hanging out too. So everybody's being super supportive, and we need more platforms like this because there's no more magazines anymore. There's no more newspapers.
No.
So this is today's modern day newspaper magazines is these podcasts and like these live streams and whatnot. And we're creating content to get people out in these clubs, that get them out in the theaters so they can go out there and support the live music. And we need more people like Rick doing these types of podcasts, So if you're interested and if you want to do it on the D, let me know, man. Hit me up. Slide in my DMs.
Yeah, they don't even have a paperboy anymore. My dad just told me this yesterday. He's like, our paperboy, like last 30 years, it's just got done. Like,
no more paperboy. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean got done? He goes, they do it through the mail now. It's coming through USPS. Like, are you shitting me? He goes, yeah, the Observer Dispatch comes through with the post office. Because I don't get my morning paper till 11:30 in the morning. He gets up at 5 in the morning still. He's retired. He's like, so it's EOD's useless to me. He's like, it's all new news by the time I even get the damn thing.
Remember they used to print it twice?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they would print an afternoon edition too. This way back, I remember being a kid. There would be the morning OD and then the afternoon edition or evening edition, and not anymore. Now it's not even a thing.
Nope,
not even a thing. That building sits there empty. It's a shame. Danny Nolan saying Aldenova performing in Rome. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. He said his friend Michael's the keyboardist. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody posted something about that last week. That looked like an interesting. Every time these things come up, I look at my calendar and I'm like, shit.
I didn't even know Aldenova was still around. That's cool. Colin saying he missed Hit Parader. were you one of those guys that pull out the clips and hang them on your wall, posters on your wall?
Yes.
Yeah, you had them all on your wall?
100%.
Who was your main artist on the wall? Who was your guy?
I used to have a lot of Guns N' Roses stuff. Like, believe it or not, it was funny because a friend of mine got, do you remember Allison from WOUR?
Of course, I worked at OUR.
She had a demo tape from them in like '86. It was like 4 songs off of Appetite for Destruction. And he used to call her up. She didn't know he was underage at the time. Because we were only 15 or something like that. And he used to just call her up and talk to her, like in the middle of the night, like she in between stuff. He'd just sit there on the phone with her. They got a friendship. I don't think she had any idea that he was like 15 years old. He sounded a lot older than he was. Anyways, she mailed this to him. She goes, "Yeah, I got to check this band out." So we were listening to these songs. I'm like, this is different. This is like dirty and like a little not as produced as some of the crap out today. And, listening to that, it had, I think My Michelle on it. It had Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, and something else. And we listened to the living shit out of this thing. And then like a year later, it came out. Like the whole album came out. Like, hey, it's those guys. I had no idea. It's always, you don't have any idea what these guys look like. Even like Metallica, I didn't know which guy was in the band until I actually saw the one video. I'm like, oh, I thought he was the singer. He's the drummer? Oh, okay. Lars? Like, he doesn't look like the drummer. But anyways, it was the same kind of thing with Appetite for Destruction. So I, like, again, it was like most of those things, like, my friend was a huge Rat fan, so I was a huge Rat fan. So we listened to a lot of Rat, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, that kind of thing, Whitesnake, all of those bands. And I was always drawn towards the ballad stuff, though. I loved the power ballads because I didn't realize until they, like, way later that they really did have kind of a formula. They come out with like a kind of a harder song first, and then the power ballad,
right?
And then all the other.
And
stuff.
Usually the power ballad brought them to superstardom.
Yeah, and what was funny was I saw a thing about Skid Row. Their second song was 18 in Life, which wasn't really the ballad. They didn't do I Remember You till like the third song was Youth Gone Wild, then then 18 in Life, and then they did the ballad. So like their second song was something a little harder, which and I loved all that shit. I loved every second of it. It was phenomenal. But
they were lightning in a bottle when they broke.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
Yeah.
And Sebastian Bach was still a kid then too.
Mm-hmm.
Still a kid. Yep. Let's see here. We got a bunch of people still checking in. Thank you so much for checking in on Facebook today. Click the share button. Spread the word of the D and Matt Grainger. It's great you have the local musicians on. Thank you. Thank you, Florence. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate you checking in daily. Steve Rigo has a new CD out, Surf and Turf, second one in a year. And Florence is saying hi to you. So hi, Florence. Hey, Florence. Thank you. Steve Rigo's CD is pretty. Do you know Steve?
Yes, I know Steve very well.
His Drinking with Lincoln. You heard that song? I love that song because he's only got $5. He's drinking with Lincoln. Danny Nolan saying he was at Sebastian Bach's birthday party. Wow, that must have been something.
Yeah,
I had to deal with Sebastian Bach once at a festival, and it wasn't too pleasant.
Yeah,
he was kind of a dick.
Yeah, he kind of seems like he might be.
He was kind of a dick, but they always say never meet your heroes, and they were right. They were right. Grainger, are you writing any music?
I write all the time.
Yeah,
yeah. I have ideas going on. I mean, a lot of stuff comes out as like poems and things like that. And I put music. It's always words first. Like I have a bunch of stuff written. I've done the music. I have a lot of music that I've written. Tons of stuff that I might not ever put music to, but constantly have ideas. It's kind of nice with the phones these days. So they just pop up my Samsung Notes and just like I have stuff in there that I put in there. Like I have stuff that I had from 25 years ago that's written down. That I don't even know if it was me that wrote it down. Like I'm writing it like this is my handwriting. I don't remember any of this. This is crazy. What does this even mean? Seemed like important at the time, but I have a bunch of stuff in my Samsung Notes right now. Just a line will pop in my head. I'm like, that's kind of neat, and okay, we'll put that down. So I now I can go back and try to decipher what the hell it was I was trying to think. But yeah, I write stuff all the time. I got a million ideas. I mean, there's always stuff coming out, and it's not ever an actual specific thing either. I don't like write. Sometimes I write like a country song. Sometimes I write some heavier shit, or I write a power ballad. But it's what's really hard is to do. I used to write anything I used to write was something that was an experience, something that came from me. I had to have been something that was real, like I'm writing about a person or a situation that actually happened. And one day I just said, like, just out of the clear blue sky, just come up with an idea, just anything. And I tried to do that again too. I don't think how the hell do these guys write? Some of these guys that actually write like hundreds and hundreds of songs and sell them to people, and they're like these major writers. Where does it come from?
I don't know.
I mean, it's so hard to just say I'm going to sit down right now and try to write something. So I say when something pops in my head, it's so nice to just throw it on the phone. We're like, okay, all right, I got an idea what that is. I have no idea where it's going or if I'll even keep it or whatever, but it's an idea, so there it is.
We were talking about how much we hate technology, but the beauty of technology, though, sometimes you get an idea, you just click a little note, record right into your phone, and boom, there it is. Yeah. And where back in the day, you'd have to like maybe call yourself on your answer machine and be like, do, a da, you know? You know what I mean? But nowadays, you got the old phone and stuff.
So I mean, I assume that my phone is listening to every word I say at all times. And
for sure.
So to anyone out there listening into my phone, enjoy the show. I got nothing to hide, and I'll just probably piss my pants laughing if I ever get called out on it. Like, you heard that? Okay, good for you.
Chillin Smith is checking in. He's saying Matt Grainger, holy hell. Thank you, Rick, for checking in.
Rick,
Masucci saying something pretty funny, too. I remember this as well. He says, do you remember when Sebastian Bach was on that supergroup reality show with Scotty and on VH1 back then?
Yes.
He says he was a dick back then, too. He was. He was getting. That's kind of like where you saw the total lead singer syndrome kick in with him. And they had, and it can only, and that's only a little clip of it too. I can only imagine what he put the rest of the band throughout the whole time that wasn't being broadcast. You know, but that was an interesting little crew. I remember the other thing too. They did a thing on VH1, Bands on the Run, where they were doing these unsigned bands, and they were like doing a contest where they would book them throughout the. I want to check those back out again. Let's see if there was anybody on there that was substantial, because this was a long time ago. I want to say it was almost 20 years ago they were doing stuff like that. But yeah, man, you gonna do any recording with some of this music you got going? Or?
Eventually, yes. Yeah? And a matter of fact, I just did a thing. I did the Kelly's Christmas thing at Big Blue North.
Oh, cool.
And spoke to those guys there. I'm like, this place is phenomenal.
Oh, it's the best.
I gotta come back here. This feels right. Yeah. So, I'm going to be getting a hold of them at some point.
It's so comfortable there, right?
Yes, it really is.
Great facility.
I walked in there. I'm like, this is awesome. It's so churchy in here. What a phenomenal. It's such a nice.
What a vibe too. And then when you want to get away from it all too, you can just go downstairs and play some games. Yeah. You know, you can just go snack out for a little bit if you need to get away. And the live room's really good, and of course the recording room. And Jeff does a great job.
Oh my God, yeah, phenomenal.
He does a great job.
Real super easy to work with, and I mean that's huge too. And like that, because that's a real recording original music is such a personal thing, and you almost want somebody that's. Not necessarily not have a bunch of ideas, but just somebody who's like open to everything, like, and they're almost a robot with what they're doing as far as the work end of it, but they're a human being that's able to work that part of it. Like again, so incredibly easy to work with. He's not worrying about anything technologically. It's like, what are you going to give me? And whatever you give me, I can work with. But it still has to come from you. Like, you can't put talent in the monitor. Can I get a little more talent in that monitor? So,
I love that. I'm stealing that.
It's not mine. I've heard that a few times over the years. That is a fact. So I would love to get back up there with a bunch of the stuff. And I have a few more things I need to get off my chest before I jump off this rock. But yeah, I'm always writing stuff. I always have ideas and things like that. But
like you said, it's personal. It's like it's like having kids. Yes. When you record a song, you know, you want it to be the way you want it.
And you hope beyond hope. You hear all these guys that like have done like major acts that have had albums that flopped, and they were some of their own personal favorite music, and like I can't believe the stuff that hit, you know. And then I hated those songs, and these were the songs that really meant something to me, and they didn't go anywhere. Which is always that's a terrifying thing to throw yourself out there and say, okay, we're gonna shine light on this. Have a look, have a listen. What do you think? And you hope people enjoy it, you know. Yeah. But again, it's also something. It's a labor of love, and to get that stuff out there and finally, I've had a few things I've recorded in the last bunch of years that it's nice to have that down now. It's there. It exists. I don't have to do this live all the time. I mean, imagine these bands that's the only way they can make any money these days is to play live. Right. And they have to be on top of it. I mean, there's some bands that are still always going to be like studio. You know, that's the only thing they do incredible things in the studio and live. They're not the best. I remember seeing the thing about Blink-182. They're like, we're horrible live. They're the ones saying it, like, we're terrible live. Don't come see our live shows. They still get 1 million people. And I'm like, but I'm like, we just enjoy doing what we do. And some of these guys have to stay on top of their game. Like my whole thing is live. I would love to have somebody come and record me live or record a live show. I think that's when you get some of the best stuff is when you're actually recording live, because it is a whole different. But some of my favorite albums of all time are like big double live recorded things. That the energy is all there, and the notes. There might be a mistake or two along the way, and things like. But that's all live. It's a real thing, and the crowd's reactions and things like that. And it's like, you know, this one special night, it was incredible, and like especially if you were there, you know, type of thing. But again, I would like to get some stuff recorded at least in a semi near future.
Cool. Well, keep me posted if you do, man. We'll have you come back and, you know, and promote it. play a couple songs and whatnot. So this has been great, man. It's been great to catch up with you.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's been like a decade.
At least. We gotta do this a little more often.
Please, yes. This has been great, man. Plug where you're playing this week.
This week I am. Where am I? I am at the Beer Garden tonight on Burstone, and Friday night. Let me think. Now I gotta look. I was gonna have this ready, and I don't. Let me see. Hey, nobody got a hold of me. Awesome. I have everything turned off. It's November. Okay.
You believe it's November already?
Yeah, holy
like
crap.
Thanksgiving's next week already.
Oh, I'm at the Oneida Lake Brew House on Friday night, and then Saturday night, K.O. Grainger is at Rock Valley Brewing down in Little Falls.
Cool.
And then all kinds of crap coming up later on this month and next month. So.
Awesome, man. How do they get in touch with you if they're looking to see you?
Easiest things on Facebook. I mean, that's where we do most of our advertising, things like that. Either my own personal page or the KL Grainger page, and they'll have dates and events and all that crap.
Yeah, awesome, brother. Great, man.
Awesome.
Send my love to KO too.
Absolutely.
Please do, man. We had a lot of great times at the EC back in the day. Yes. Thanks for hanging with me today, Grainger. Also, thank you to my sponsors. If not for the sponsors, this podcast isn't possible. Thank you to EJA Moving Services. Thank you to Billy the Liquor Guy. Check out his book on Amazon or wherever you get books. Joey's at 307. You want a good meal this week? Go to Joey's, 307 Mohawk Street in Utica. Utica Coffee. My attorney, Dave Longaretta, has been keeping me out of trouble since probably the 90s. If you want some legal advice, you need some legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. Thank you to Saranac Brewery. Saranac will do just fine, as my buddy Colin Leonard just said. Check them out online for all their products at saranac.com. Shout out to Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only for a 15% discount. Get yourself some nut rub, some ball wash. I'm telling you, it's changed my life, man. And hygiene for your groin area.
Excellent.
It works. It's awesome, especially in hot summer days. You do a little swoop and a doop with the nut rub, and you're golden. No more chafe, no more rubbing, all that. It's great. It's awesome. So Ballsy, ballwash.com. I got a promo code. Members only get you 15% off. And then one more time, big shout out to our boy Chilling with the Rick. Check him out on YouTube and Facebook, Chilling with the Rick. Also, one more thing. We are having a food drive coming up on Thursday. We're restocking the shelves at the Utica Food Pantry from 6 to 9 p.m. My boy DJ East One is going to be spinning. You come in, you bring a bunch of canned foods, and there's raffles. We've got a whole bunch of booze. We've got gift certificates. There's lithographs. There's art. Bunch of stuff going on. Also, an ugly sweater contest. So if you got an ugly sweater, wear it. You might win a couple bucks for wearing an ugly sweater. So it's going down this Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. at the American Legion in North Utica, Post 229. So come on out and help us restock the shelves at the Utica Food Pantry. All right, Grainger, man, this has been a lot of fun. Let's do this again really soon, man. Please, let's do this again. It was a lot of fun. Next week, we're going to come back. I got Rocky coming in. Rocky Fiola coming in for Local Music Monday. And Justin, I miss you, buddy. I wish you were here, bud. So we'll get that shit worked out next time.
Let's get them next time. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You guys have yourself a good day. Later.